What is up, guys? Lockdown Level 94 here, and welcome to the summary of the first season of the connected career mode that I've been sharing with MrKevlarr. He is with me in the call right now. Kev, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. I didn't mess it up that time.
Yeah,
So,
you're not feeling
happy.
bad?
I'm not feeling bad.
I know you're not feeling bad because you beat me by one goal.
By one goal, the one goal wonder.
54 goal difference to me, 55 to you, I think it was in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I'm quite happy, to be fair. It was tight. It was a tight season. Well, let's say that
It was tight towards the end.
Yeah.
I managed to get a massive lead, and then you managed to come all the way back.
But like we just said, it was a luck of the teams that I drew in the final games that edged it for me.
Yeah, I wanted to go back and look over your last few episodes, because like in your last 3 you must have scored about 25 or something like that. It's like I said you need to get your goal difference better, otherwise you're going to lose, and then you just destroyed every team like 6-0. Like, excuse me?
I just stepped it up. I think the main thing was the wife beater and the mask of Sam that helped me in that final episode. It gave me luck.
So you had, in order to beat me, you had to become me.
I had to become Sam. I had to become the best FIFA player.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, stop it.
Stop it.
I'm making you blush.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you did win, and I had to do the forfeit in the end, which was to eat every bean that was in my Bean Boozled jelly bean box that's probably been sitting there for about 2 years and not in a refrigerated area of some sort. So they were extremely dry and extremely tough, and ended up just making basically a brick in my mouth of just tasted like horribleness. There's a lot of dog food in there.
Oh god, the vomit one was enough for me. Like, I bought the box first a couple of months back, and I tasted the vomit one on purpose just to see. I can't really taste that bad. I ate it in the car, and I think it's safe to say I spat it almost immediately. All the doors and windows were open. It just smelled horrible. My partner was almost throwing up everywhere, just smelling it.
I don't think I've ever had to voluntarily eat a vomit bean other than when I had to do that forfeit. So I didn't actually really have to taste it that much because it was just mixed in with everything else that tasted horrible. The only other time I think I've done videos with the Bean Boozled are the Rocket League ones, which I barely ever have to eat jelly beans for that because I'm so good.
But you didn't finish.
Well, the seasons 1 or 2 I did finish, and we will get back to season 3 when I have to buy a new box because somebody made me eat them all. I've done videos with Pez, which I haven't really even needed to eat that many for that. And I remember doing a video with Andrew when it came to Pez penalties, which we did have to eat a lot, but it was luck of the draw, and I didn't have to eat any vomit ones then either. So some say that vomit is the worst one, and I haven't really needed to eat it yet.
It wasn't the best, because the reason why I did it, I thought people. It was like when that whole craze went on, with like all Bean Boozled and sort of thing all over YouTube. I was thinking, oh, really, I'll just buy these. It can't really be as bad as they're like saying.
Yeah.
How wrong was I? The cut grass was really bad as well. The dog food just tasted like ass. Mm-hmm. It wasn't good.
And now imagine that, but like super old, and all of them mixed together. That's what I had to deal with.
Like, it could go either way, really, could it? The flavour could get more potent, or the flavour could lessen. But then you've got that brick in your mouth. You're just salivating everywhere, like making the juices intensify. It's no good either way, really.
The worst part was swallowing it because there was so much. I had to like slowly
giggity.
I just had to slowly bite it off bit by bit. This just ended up sounding worse. I had to like nibble off little bits so I could just keep swallowing it. And that was probably the majority of the video because I had to speed it up because it took me so long. I was just sitting there like, yeah, this is not going to be at normal speed. This is going to need speeding up.
There's only one thing that I wanted to know what you were saying. When you were speeding it up, you sped up through some parts that you were speaking. Sometimes I caught what you were saying, but the other times I couldn't. I just wanted to know and laugh at you even more.
It's because I had to try and keep it entertaining. I had to keep it entertaining while I was talking. Because like, at the time in my head I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to have to speed it up and there's no point me talking because you're not going to be able to understand what I'm saying. I was just like, I had to just keep trying to come up with stuff to say. And then eventually I thought, this has been 15 minutes, I can't do this, this is going to have to be sped up. Some bits made it in, the funnier bits. To be honest, I just figured out what I said and just skipped over it, that's why I sped that bit up, because it wasn't funny. It was just usually me going, oh god, this is horrible.
I can't see your jaw was ready to fall off at the end of it though.
Yeah. And then I got to wash it down with a wonderful glass of lemon juice that we love to come back to.
Well, if you want to come back to it, the rematch is always there for Rocket League as well.
Oh.
So if you remember,
That's true, because you didn't have to do a forfeit when I played you.
I didn't have the lemon juice, no. So
Might be seeing that in the future then.
we
Get
might
my
be.
lemon revenge.
I'll get my lemon ready. I'll get my shot glasses.
Yeah, I don't have shot glasses. I've just got really posh, like Bailey's
I got
glasses.
Jack Daniels. I got Jack Daniels shot glasses.
Yeah,
All
we
my
got-
shot
we got
glasses,
Bailey's
but
ones.
whiskey. I got whiskey glasses. I'm a man. I don't drink no cream stuff.
Yeah, the lemon juice was not great. It
No,
was worse that time around than doing the video, I think. I don't know if maybe
Yeah.
I poured more in than normal, because when we were
You-
doing the Rocket League video, I had to hurry up because you were
Yeah.
not going to wait for me, and I'm pretty sure
No!
several times you decided to score when I wasn't playing, and I was recovering from my shot of lemon juice. But this time I had enough time to fill it up about halfway, and that was worse than the jelly beans, I think.
I think what we should do, we should just get like glasses pre-prepared, so then we can take the shot
Yeah.
after that person's
Well,
score.
you can,
Like,
because you're doing the full.
Yeah, I can because I got to do the forfeit because you didn't last time. So if I win, then we'll do We'll do the best of three.
And then we'll
have
both
a
do it.
third, and then we'll both do it. Yeah, the grudge match.
That's basically just like punishing both of us.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you're crap, so you score. You score, you drink. Sorry.
Alright, well, I've got some topics that we can talk about over the course
Yeah,
of
sure.
our first season. I guess they're not really topics, they're just kind of awards that we could give out.
Yeah. and, like,
They may
new
be kind of
rules and
tough
stuff.
because it's been a little while since we've actually recorded or watched our entire series. But at the top of the list, I've got, I probably already know the answer to this for you. The best moment of the season for you. Just the overall best
Winning.
feeling.
Just winning.
I knew exactly. I knew he was going to say that. That's why I said it.
But winning by the 1 point just made it that sweeter. It was intense in that last game because I was absolutely bricking it. I was telling Sam before we started this recording that I had to pause him multiple times throughout that last match because the pressure was just getting to me. I just needed some air. I needed some drinks. I couldn't handle the pressure. It was just insane. Like, I've never got that sort of worked up over a game before. And
It was all
It was
riding
just-
on it.
Yeah.
There was a lot riding on that game.
it was really intense, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great. So
Well, I
What
can't
was-
really say the same. The best moment of the season definitely wasn't losing for me.
it was at the start of the season when you were
It
winning.
was, yeah. That's probably around about it. I mean, yeah, I didn't have a lot of best moments, I would say. The only thing I could think of was in the first few episodes there was a game where it was 0-0 for ages. I think actually this happened on 2 occasions. Is that we were drawing for a long time and we just couldn't score, and then we got 90-minute
Yeah.
winners. That's pretty much all I
Yeah.
can come up with because
That's
there's
really
not really a lot
satisfying,
going for me.
isn't
And I'm pretty sure they weren't even me that scored. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think it was Inan
It was
scored the
just-
first
yeah.
one, and then I think it might have been Rodriguez that scored the second one. Actually, no, I think Inan did both actually. So shout out to Inan for scoring both my winners in the 90th minute. But yeah, like I said, I didn't really have a lot of best moments. So that's
I
probably
got
why
two
I came up
questions for you,
Mhm.
and I think I already know the answer to one of them. What was the most satisfying moment in your series? And what was the most frustrating moment in your series? The frustrating, I think I know.
Well, I mean, obviously, you probably expect me to say losing.
Yeah, but not losing just
The-
by the
I
1
guess-
point.
I mean, I could say the frustrating moment was the fact that you got to put up the last episode. So all I could do
Yes.
was the best that I could possibly do in the last 3 games I had, and then I had to wait and just you
Hope.
kept sending me
Just
messages, but not really making it clear what was going on. So I didn't know whether I'd won or not. But
Even the sneaky pictures showing that I was in the 50 range goal
Yeah.
difference as well. And
So why would
just
you do
showing my
So
Like,
I could say that, but another one that's in my head is I can't remember what team it was I was playing against, but we'd finished 3-3 in the end, and it was very
Yeah.
undeserved because one of the goals they'd crossed it in, and I think it was Eto volleyed it straight at Cenk, my goalkeeper. He made a great save, and it was rolling like across the line. It was gonna go in if no one touched it. And a defender trying to slide to get it out, and he missed it. And then Cenk was doing the animation as if he'd already given up and it had gone in. So he was just like standing there, not doing anything. Yeah. And the ball just slowly rolled in until it counted as a goal. And then again, he made a great save further on, and I was praising him, and then they crossed it straight back in and scored, made it 3-3.
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible moments when it happens like that.
What was the other one? That was most frustrating. What was the other one? Most satisfying.
Satisfying, yeah.
I didn't really have a lot of satisfaction. Probably destroying teams was probably the only satisfaction I could get. Winning the league, I guess. When I first really thought.
Shots that you take?
I didn't really score a lot of long shots, to be fair. I had that really long one. That was pretty much it.
That was good. That was good. That was a good shot.
I'd say the most satisfying was probably the moment where I thought I've pulled out from the pack, because a lot of my season involved me playing around Besiktas and Fenerbahce.
Yeah, yeah.
Like lead kept on changing. I had actually, you know what? I know exactly what my most frustrating moment was. The 10 games I had to play off camera between episodes 1 and 2.
Yes.
The last game was against Besiktas, and I had to play it, and I had to win if I wanted to go first. But because of the yellow cards that I'd got between like the first episode and that game, that was the one game that I missed. The entire season, I only missed one game, and I in the episode at the very end, my last episode, I said you could probably go back and find out which game it was that I missed, and it was that one game against Besiktas, the team that was in first place, that I had to miss.
That would have made the difference, and you'd have probably won as well, because you'd have probably scored more than one goal, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know. It depends, because Besiktas were a good team.
Well, you know what to do next time, don't you? Coming from me, of all people, don't get any yellow cards.
Well, we'll go over the rules next season. There'll be more reasons to not get yellow cards in this game.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Bill, what about you?
For me, my most frustrating moment, I got two, to be fair, was that game when Lafon was just on point. Yeah. He just didn't want to lose any goals. That was just annoying for me. I was screaming at my computer. There was a lot more saves than I showed. There was a lot more that he saved, shots that he saved, than I showed on camera. But it was just so frustrating editing it, because I felt the frustration that I felt when I was playing the game as well, so I just didn't leave all of them in. But the other one is ass.
Yeah. They're a pain in the ass.
They are. Like you said, you played them as well, like on a separate career mode, and they are.
I don't know why they're good. Like in real life, they're not good, but somehow in this game, they are pretty decent.
They're just godlike. My most satisfying moment. Did I have my most satisfying?
Winning. Just keep going with winning.
Just Charlie Sheen it, winning. No, I think
the tiger blood.
Yeah. Some of the long shots that I had were quite good.
I don't know how you kept scoring those. It's just like you just scored when you wanted. Continuously. I checked the in-game stats between Bruma and Depay, and you do have higher long shots than I do. But that doesn't mean you just score every shot you have.
Yeah. On the training, I focused on what was it, free kicks, I think it was? Like the special free kicks and like long shots, and mainly based around the long shots in the past. And I tried to do an overall, so my defense, physical and all that sort of went up at the same time. I think you can go back and check which training sessions I did. But half the time I did play them myself and I was getting A's. It's only when I felt a bit lazy and I couldn't be bothered to do it, I just skipped it.
You played them?
Yeah.
I don't touch any of those.
Like I played them a couple of times because, like
now I know why you won. Because you're busy sitting there playing through them all and cutting out the episode, keeping quiet about it all.
Well, nobody said you had to skip it. Nobody said you had to play it.
Yeah, that's true.
So the main thing that I wanted to get up was shots, like obviously shooting. So I played the free kick one all the time because I wanted to know like where the sweet spot was for like power and accuracy when you're taking shots. So that always did come in handy, as you saw with my long shots and how powerful they were and accurate they were. It did shine through from the training.
They always just went into the top corner.
Oh, it was
even
awesome.
if you had like a player tackling you or trying to push you.
Yeah. I was very impressed with his shots. And a guy in work as well, actually. I told him to buy him. He said, his long shots are great. Just try him out. Just do it. And he tried him out, and he won 3 consecutive matches, and it was all with long shots with Depay. And he thanked me because he's never really won any matches against human players.
You're recommending Ultimate Team players because of career mode. Everyone, go buy Bruma right now. Bruma's got a Team of the Season card. Bruma's got a Team of the Season card. Depay doesn't. I'm just saying, get Bruma because he's better.
He's 1 goal.
All right, fair enough. That's the whole team, though. It's not all about you. Stop being selfish. That's your team won by 1 goal more than me. I had to play as Galatasaray. They're not exactly the best team in the world. My best player other than me was Podolski. You had Lacazette.
So, moving on from the 1 goal victory. What do you want to discuss next? Do you want to discuss the rules, or do you want to discuss...
I've got more topics. I've got more topics to go through.
You got more topics?
Yeah, I've got loads. I've got 5. I've been doing my homework. I guess the next one was worst moment of the season, and we kind of talked about that. With
that was
most
the most
frustrating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the next one, I guess, this is the first sort of award that we can give to a specific event or player. In your opinion, both my series and your series, both of our channels, what was the best goal scored of the entire season? Doesn't mean it has to be scored by me or you. It could be the computer as well.
Yeah.
But
I can't remember
what was the
his
best
name.
Goal scored?
I think he was in my final match when they just passed it or crossed it across goal, and then he did this flying roundhouse kick into the back of the net.
That's the exact same goal as I was going to say.
You was going to say the same. It was I was thrown back. I was like, what the hell?
That's probably the hardest I've seen a ball kicked by a computer player in FIFA.
Yeah.
He just absolutely demolished it, and it was like a chest high volley as well.
Yeah, it was crazy how he got the positioning and his leg up that high. And
I was like, you might have won the season, but he's just won.
He's won shot of the year. But yeah, that was by far the best goal of the season for me. To be fair, I thought he was going to burn a hole in the back of the net with how powerful it was as well.
I always in my head that was always going to be my pick, but I thought the one where I ran down the left wing and did the roulette spin move between the 2 players and finished it. Yeah. That was up there. And
was nice,
the one where I was running through and I faked it and managed to cut through, and then I stopped it as the goalkeeper fell.
Yeah.
And then rolled it forward and did that skill shot. That was probably up there as well. You didn't score any goals. All your goals are long shots, so there's not exactly much I could pick from.
Half of them were long shots. I had some finesse goals. Actually, I just realised another sort of frustrating but satisfying moment as well. When I took a shot, I think it was another long shot, or it was just outside the box. It hit the one post, hit the other post, and then came out.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing it.
And then I can't remember who it was.
Valbuena scored.
I can't remember who
that was in the last episode, wasn't it?
It was the last episode, was it?
Yeah, it was Valbuena who scored that, I'm pretty sure. He was just waiting, standing there, and he was in perfect position.
Yeah, he was running onto goal, following me, and then he took it. It was frustrating because
I know your team better than you do.
You do.
That should be painfully on.
You've done your homework. I haven't. I've been too busy working.
By homework, you mean watching your series?
Pretty much, yeah.
You don't watch your own series, apparently.
I watch it as I'm editing it, and then I watch it after I've edited it, but that's it.
So I've got 2 more topics that we can talk about.
Yep.
After the first one, you can probably guess what the second one is. But for your team specifically, who do you think was your best teammate?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Playing along, the 10 players that were playing alongside you, fully on, who would you say was your best teammate? I could probably already guess.
I want to say Valbuena, but Feka did a lot as well. But then again, I don't know, my keeper. I'm really stuck.
I thought you would say Lacazette. Because I would say Lacazette.
Yeah, but Valbuena was always there. He was always sticking with me. Fekir, and like them, Valbuena and Fekir together. Well, mind you, Lacazette and Fekir as well.
I mean, well, Fekir's in both of those, so I think you've got
Yeah, so yeah, Fekir. Like, I think Fekir he's always there. He's always in the position that I need him to be in.
I'm going to write this down so we can actually remember for the future. So
Yeah.
for Leon, Fekir was the best player. I also need to go with best goal. I'll just put last goal of the season because I'll have to go back and actually look to see who he was. I'm pretty sure it was Nice that he was playing against, and that means it might be Balotelli because Balotelli plays for Nice. So it might be him, I'm not sure. For me,
yeah, maybe.
I've got a long short list. I guess those two words kind of even each other out. I already know in my head, I already know who I want to pick. But I also want to go through the other players that I thought could have deserved it. Yozu, first of all. The guy on the right wing, opposite to me. Didn't do a lot, other than the fact that I really like switching the play. And I can really sort of exploit that when it comes to the CPU. If my right winger makes the runs, I can always pick it out. Because whenever I'm playing, I'm not really looking at myself on the ball, I'm looking at other players around me to see who I can pass to. So Yozu was good for making those sort of runs. He made a couple good assists as well. Behind him, blurred lines. Probably my best defender that I had, who was solid. I don't know what his first name is. It's probably not blurred, but I never did end up going to see what it actually was. Then I've got Cheju, who is a centre back. Didn't do a lot other than just being a solid centre back for me. Carroll, who was sitting behind me, made some good attacking runs. However, if they got the ball back, he was out of position, and that was bad for us. And I think I might be forgetting someone, but my best teammate has to be Cenk. He was thrown into the situation he was put in. He was just like living on the bench and not getting game time. Muslera was there. He was the top keeper for us. Suddenly, Muslera decides he wants more money. Leaves for the money, goes to Barcelona, and who are we going to put in this situation? Cenk steps up. At first, it's really funny when I go back and watch my series, because at first I'm like, this guy's just terrible. There was a bit where the ball was just coming down from the air, and he could have just caught it, but he punched it up. I'm just like, this guy's special. There's like the ball's about to roll off for a goal kick. I'm like, he can run over and pick that up. Runs over to it and watches it roll off. I'm like, this guy. I'm like, who is this goalkeeper? I think Muslera's rating was 84. Cenk was 71. That's how much of a deficit we were at. That's why I was so distraught when we brought this guy in, because I'm like, this guy is just going to let in every single shot, and that's going to mess my season completely. The first few episodes, I was like, this guy's awful. Then after a few games, he got his confidence, started like gelling with the first team members. He was just like my best player, without a doubt. You can go back and I've said many times in my videos how much I love Cenk, and he was just an insane goalkeeper for me.
He's a good goalkeeper. I found out the name of that goal scorer, by the way.
Yeah.
It's Cyprian, is it? Is that how you spell it?
I have no idea what that is.
It's Cyprien.
Yeah, let me write that down. Cyprien.
Rien.
Cyprian. Never heard of him. I'll have a look. But yeah, I'd say Cenk, without a doubt, the situation he was thrown in, and being such a low rating compared to Muslera, was definitely my best teammate.
There's one particular blooper that I enjoyed. I can't remember his name for the life. I'm sure he played for Arsenal. Basically, he was saying that he was really bad. And then he ended up in real life scoring a cracking goal. What was that little blooper you made?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, Podolski.
Podolski, that's the one.
That shit show. That's funny. Funny you mention that. The next topic is worst teammate. Podolski is who I'm going to be picking because he's absolutely terrible.
He was like, "Oh, Podolski, you're so shit. You're so bad. You're so terrible. This, that, and the other." And then all of a sudden, in real life, he scores a cracker.
Yeah, if only you could have done that in the game for me. In like the 34 games he played, he scored about 10 goals.
He did pick it up in some games.
The only time he scored was when I assisted him, and that was because I passed it across goal and he was in the 6-yard box. You couldn't exactly miss. He did nothing. The only decent goal he scored for me, I remember, is that he did a 1-2. He passed it to me, and I chipped it, just like a little tiny chip, through the space to him, and he first time volleyed it in. That's the only goal that I can remember that was actually decent from Podolski. But other than that, absolutely terrible. So many times I put it on a plate for him, and he just missed it. He missed headers. There were moments, more than one time, when he had the ball running along the halfway line. He had 2 players he could pass to. I'm standing there yelling for it. He continues just to run on his own and lose the ball. He could not be trusted. I'm pretty sure he was 80 rated to begin with, and throughout the season he went up to 81 and 82 because they get better over time. I think in the last episode he was 80 again. I think he went up, he was decent, and then went back down again. That's why he's my worst teammate.
Can you imagine my frustration though? How my team would go from one game being amazing, even Depay and his shots, his handling of the ball, just perfect, and then all of a sudden he'd just go downhill. The team would go downhill, and we'd play and we'd lose or we'd draw.
We had some games like that. I guess my team, I feel like we were generally good throughout the season. There were times when we drew, when we should have won. I can't remember how many games we lost. I think we might have lost one game or something like that, and that might have been the one that I missed. No, I remember that game. It was first episode.
You're not good.
it was the first episode, second game I think it was, that we lost. We lost 1-0.
Thinking back to the first 2 episodes, I'm pretty sure I lost quite a few.
I'm pretty sure you skipped quite a few as well.
I skipped quite a few, yeah.
You missed quite a few due to not being picked for the team, and you just outright skipped a few.
I think I realised the error of my ways of why I had to skip as well. I think we talked about this, didn't we? Because we were skipping Champions League or international matches. Yes.
And you didn't know the difference between the symbols.
Yeah, that too. When I used to skip it on the calendar. So when I was skipping it, I think the computer was right, he doesn't want to play, so we're not going to put him for his league matches either. So I think that's maybe...
I think that does happen, because it's sort of the game recognises you don't play, and then it's oh, he had a really bad performance that game because he didn't actually play. Yeah. And then it's that's the AI for the manager saying we're not going to pick you because you were so poor over the previous games.
Yeah.
When in fact you just straight didn't play them.
So next season, I think is going to be very interesting because
we will be playing every game.
We will be playing every game. We're both pretty much in peak, even though you're a year younger. The stats are pretty much identical as well. I think, what was I, 80? Was I 86 and you was 86 or 85?
I know I'm 86. I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, I was 86.
So we're both the same rating going into the next season.
So we're both the same rating.
However,
we'll have to talk on Skype, because if you get an offer, I'll stay with mine unless I get an offer for the French League.
Well, I was going to come up with a rule, but it sounds like I've just come up with it because of what you're going to do. But I was going to say you can only transfer list yourself if you actually plan on leaving. You can't transfer list yourself and then decide to stay. Because in real life, if a player says, I want to leave, and they get put on the transfer list, they can't just decline every offer and then be like, just kidding, I'm going to stay. I think that's only ever happened once in the BPL, and it was Berahino, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
But that was the rule. I don't, it's completely up to you if you want to accept the rule, because it sounds like I'm making it just to kind of screw you over. But what Kev was planning on doing was putting himself up for transfer, seeing what offers he got, and if he didn't like them, they're just declining all of them, and then staying at Lyon for the next season.
You're making me sound like a little bitch.
No, I'm telling the truth. Truth hurts, man.
No, what I was planning on doing is, if I put myself up for transfer and I got selected for a bigger team, it's like what we was talking about. You don't want to go to Real Madrid and then replace Ronaldo, because it's not realistic. We want a more realistic season. So I wanted to put myself up for transfer and then go to, what you said, a lower end team but in a high end league, like the Spurs or something, and then play for them, where you'll be going up against somebody that, in the team, that you'll be replacing somebody that's the same rated or lower rated than you.
Yeah.
So it'd be more realistic to do that. But it would be a lot better for us both to be in the same league as, total amount of games and total amount of, cups and stuff like that we can win.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a lot fairer because we both have the same amount of matches then.
In a perfect world, we'd be in the same league. I'm not saying that we should, because then that's like that's too similar. I like the fact that I'm annoyed that I was in Galatasaray, and I had a shorter season, and we're against worse teams. But I was playing in Turkey, and he was in France. Like two completely different worlds, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like.
Obviously, logistically, it makes more sense for us to be in the same league.
Yeah, because if you got listed as a transfer, because if you want to make that rule, you can only list yourself a transfer if you are going to leave. If you get offers for like leagues that were to like 20, 28 games, 30 games, and I'm still in my like 38 games league, then you again will be on like you've drawn the shortest straw. You'll have to work twice as hard, and I can just sail through the season again.
Yeah.
Like I didn't exactly sail through this season, but you know you can catch my drift. You know what I'm on about. It wouldn't be fair. So
well,
in a perfect world, like you said, yeah, we would be in the same league. But if we could get in the same league or same sort of games in a league, like,
yeah, I plan on. I don't. If I move, I'm not going to move to somewhere that doesn't have 20 teams in its league.
Yeah.
20 is the normal one. That means you play 38 games. I had 18, which means I played 34. So I played 34 games a season. I know Germany also have 34 games a season, so I'm not going to go there either. So I guess it would be Spain, France, Italy. We haven't even talked about the Italian league.
No, we don't.
You got Juventus, you got like Roma.
I was going to say go to Juventus.
You got some good teams in Italy. We haven't even thought about that. But it's basically the big ones, other than Germany, is what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they all have their own different domestic cups, but a majority of those teams are in European games as well.
We're not even going to be playing the cups, though. We're not going to be showing the cups. We're just going to be showing the league games and like the league cups.
No, we're showing the cups. We're showing the domestic cups.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
we're showing every game except internationals.
Is right. I always forget those rules. Like.
So yeah, the domestic cups. I don't know how different it is. There might be. I know all domestic cups are usually the same length, but there might be a league that has more domestic cups to play in. Yeah, so logistically, it'll still be confusing, but it'll be a lot more simple if I'm in the same amount of league games than you.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be really interesting as well, because you were saying, oh, you've had like 4 more games than me, and this, that, and the other, and I had to skip a lot more than 4 games.
Yeah.
Like, because of being like subbed, red carded, and all.
Just general bad performance.
Just general being me bad at stuff. So I wonder if those games, if I did play them, would it have made a difference at all in the scores.
We'll never know.
So playing a league where we go the same amount of match, it would be interesting to see if I don't get any yellow cards or red cards, how it'll pan out.
I also never got your worst teammate. Who's your worst teammate?
Worst teammate? Can I say myself?
Oh.
Because
putting yourself down.
Yeah, because if you like look through the games, like out of all the players, when I was playing, like especially at the start of the season, like I was so inconsistent with like passes, crosses, shooting, all that kind of stuff. It was just frustrating. Like some days I'd be on form, but then other days I'd be like, no, you don't even know how to dribble a football, mate. It was just so inconsistent, and so half the time my team was playing great, but I was playing crap. And like, I just remember as well on that last game when I think Valbuena was on to score, I did a nice through ball and he was to split the defence in two, and I caught the Y paddle on the back of my controller. So
yeah, I remember that. That was hilarious.
I was like, no.
I was like, that's a guaranteed goal, because that was super important as well. I'm pretty sure that would have been the first goal, wouldn't it? To like put you ahead, or the second one?
That would have. I think that was more towards the end. Like maybe before they scored.
But I remember that. It was like he was through on goal, it's just guaranteed, and then he just turns around and passes it back. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
I thought I just left my controller. You know when you just leave it go slack and stuff.
Yeah.
I did that, and as I did that, it caught my left, like my Y paddle. I was like, no, that was a goal. And then it would have made that victory even more sweet. Scored, I would have been in front by the 2 goals. So you wouldn't have felt as bad. I would have felt more secure and not as stressy. So, because I would have been more comfortable with our free kick if they had to score 2 goals in less than a minute, essentially, than scoring the 1 goal to make it a draw. Because what would have happened? I would have still won, wouldn't I? Because I had better stats than you at the end as well.
Yeah.
Playing the games.
I can't remember what we said, that if we both had the same goal difference, what we'd go to. But
I think it was
personal,
like personal stats.
You had better personal stats than I did.
Yeah, I was incredibly surprised at as well. Because I thought, because you were just ahead of me on every sense of the level except for red cards. So I honestly thought you would have just demolished me on personal stats. But then when you messaged me, I just thought, no way. So I went to your video and checked, and then I checked mine at the end. So again, it was just an incredible season, and I can't wait to do it again.
Speaking of the next season, we have the rules that we plan on integrating from now on. We've gone over it with each other, we both agree.
Yeah, put a little screenshot on screen.
Yeah, I'll be sticking it on the video. So, next season is going to be a little bit more personal based, as well as the team. Because the first season, it was all about where the team finished. You know, if you came first, then, and like the other player didn't come first, then you won. If you both came first, it came down to goal difference. So it was all down to the team. Like, we kept checking our personal stats, but it didn't mean anything. So now, we have taken the stats from the stat screen that we constantly went back to throughout our videos, and we've actually integrated that into a point system that is going to be our overall points at the end of the season. Obviously, you get added points for good things and minus points for bad things that you do. Kev, don't get red cards anymore. So we've got...
Oh, good boy.
Appearances give you 1 point. So that basically means I need to be in a league that has the same amount of league games than you do, otherwise I'm already at a deficit. But also at the same time, if you get a red card and you get kicked out of a game, I don't know if it counts if you actually played half of it, but the next game after a red card, you get kicked out of that as well. So you lose a point on that. So like appearances matter. For a win, you get 1 point. For a goal, you get 1 point. An assist gives you 1 point. Winning a domestic cup in your league gives you 1 point. Winning the European League, which is what Kev did in his first season, you get 3 points. And for winning the overall league that you're in, you get 5 points. Then we go into accolades. For every time you get a man of the match, you get given a point. Whenever you get in the team of the week, you get 2 points. Whenever you get a player of the month award, you get 3 points. And if you are the player of the year at the end of the season, you get 5 points. So all of that adds up at the end of the season. I've got an example at the bottom that you can actually see. So I'll talk about that in a second. Because not only do you get plus points, you get points taken away. Every time you lose a game, you get a point taken away. Whenever you miss a game, or don't get picked, you lose a point. Whenever you get a yellow card, you lose a point. Whenever you get a red card, you lose 3 points. And if you finish in first, you get 1 point taken away. If you finish in 20th, you get 20 points taken away. So basically, the further you are from first place, the more points you get taken away. So that's more of an incentive to finish in first place. I mean, you get given 5 points for winning the league, but if someone else finishes in 5th, they get 5 points taken off. That's your punishment for being bad and having a bad season. So I've got my example. This is my first season. I've already added up all of the points. Alright, so so in my first season, I had 33 games. We won 23 of them. I scored 41 goals, had 18 assists. We didn't have any domestic cups, we didn't have any European cups, so because I won the league, I got 5 points. I got 20 Man of the Match awards, 24 Teams of the Week, so that would make 48 points, because those are all worth 2. and I got 8 Player of the Month awards, so times that by 3, that makes 24. And I did get Player of the Year, which is an extra 5. So that all came to 217 points. Now you take away the -1s, I had 1 loss, so you take away 1 point. I missed a game, so you take away 1 point. I had 4 yellow cards, so you take away 4 points. I got 0 red cards, and I finished in first place, which means I only lose 1 point. So altogether that came to 7. You do 217, take away 7, gives you 210, and that is my final amount that I had at the end of the season. So we'll both be adding up all of those scores, seeing who has the higher number at the end of the season, and whoever has the higher number wins. Simple as. So that's how we're integrating personal stats into the rest of the team stuff. Because we figured you can continue to miss games, but your team can continue to win them without you.
Exactly,
so
that's why losing points for missing games, that would come in handy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I added up your points as best as I could, because I couldn't actually see your Man of the Match awards. But I changed if I changed my Team of the Week and Player of the Months to the amount that you had, I only won by like 5 points or something like that, or like 15 points or something like that. So it's not like this is going to be a complete blowout. I mean, obviously, the next season might be, because one of us might be amazing. But in terms of the first season, it would have been actually pretty close.
Yeah. Well, the entire first season was close, I think.
With the rules that we had, it was really close, yeah.
Yeah. For the
it couldn't be any closer than being one goal away.
So want to do it all over again and just spend 2
keep
weeks
not
uploading. Spend 2 weeks not uploading. Watch Sam in the shower again.
I had actually planned that for like a couple of days in advance. I was like, depending on how long it takes for you to upload, I might do the same sort of thing that you did.
I was hoping you wouldn't get too freaked out with them. It was literally on the day I thought, right, what can I do? What can I do? And then I just print off his face. So I thought, you know what, just jump on his Facebook, take a picture. So
that's better than like making an actual like leather mask of my face and having that on. That would have been a little bit more creepy.
Like Slipknot.
Yeah.
A Slipknot version of Sam.
That is the end of the summary of Season 1 of our Connected Career. Both had decent seasons. Yeah, I mean, this is all going on YouTube, it's fine. It ended with 1 goal being the difference. We both had good seasons. You had a better season than I did, in every sense, pretty much. You beat me on goal difference and goals scored and assists. But
I had the worst start though.
Yeah.
If you can take it that way, I had a really bad start, and to bring it back, I think I did pretty well. Other than that, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
I mean, my first game of my new season is the final of the Confederations Cup against Argentina. That doesn't count towards anything, that's not a stat, and I'm going to be simulating it. But I might be a Confederations Cup champion going into the next season. I've always been in the same position. You were lucky because your team changed formation.
They did.
I stayed a 4-5-1 with Podolski up front, and yours changed to a 4-3-3, which put you more attacking, and you had Lacazette.
In all fairness, they was changing it up quite a bit. They did change it. I was up front, and then I was in mid sometimes. But
I stayed in one place the whole time. That's another reason why I'm leaving. Don't agree with the managerial staff.
I think actually that was the times I was having the hot and...
Maybe. That would explain it.
Yeah, because every time I was up front with Lacazette or Valbuena or something, they always seemed to be in the right place at the right time. Yeah, I might leave because of managerial issues also.
Just to have a fucking strike. Just sit down and just say we're not going to play.
You can screw your 200k a week. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I don't care how much you pay me.
So,
Alright,
yeah,
so...
I wish you luck for your game. I wish you luck and let the best man not drink the lemon.
Yeah. Good luck in the next season.
You too.